Overnight, Minneapolis on fire.
When Minneapolis burned after police killed George Floyd, people wondered, why would this happen in Minneapolis? This is a city where politicians do most everything the protesters say they want.
The crowd erupted in cheers as the council voted unanimously to move ahead with a $15 minimum wage.
If you wanted a poster child for the progressive movement, it would be Minneapolis.
Minnesota Senate candidate Jason Lewis.
This is the same city council that voted to abolish the police department.
The council, which has no Republicans, spends money on most every progressive idea.
Climate change resilience and 80% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions.
They applaud themselves for forcing businesses to give workers more time off. They push taxpayer-subsidized housing.
It took members less than 5 minutes to approve this ordinance.
They passed that higher minimum wage.
We have now won $15.
But despite all those progressive policies meant to make life more fair,
the Minneapolis income gap between whites and African Americans is the second worst in the country.
that confuses the media. Minneapolis had progressive policies, says the Washington Post, but its economy still left black families behind. They choose the word but. The word should be therefore. After all,
When you take away the incentive for work and savings and investment, you get less of it.
when government sends checks to people who don't work, more people don't work.
There's a sign behind you that says Waverly Job Center. You have any intention of going in to get a job?
Not looking for a job.
And guarantees like a higher minimum wage and forced family leave raise the cost of workers, which means some people never get hired.
In Minneapolis, we now recycle organics.
And the higher taxes to pay for all the programs mean some businesses never open.
I've been touring the businesses that were burned. They did not mention global warming, recycling, or the environment one single time. You know what they say? Give me low taxes and give me public order. If you don't have good schools, low taxes, and low crime, you're not going to have small businessmen and women investing their lifetime of savings to open a business.
A creative tax cut, creating more jobs.
That used to be the hallmark of the Democratic Party when John Kennedy used to talk about it.
Democrats did once argue that limited government would allow free people to create wealth.
Now it's some command and control economy. And quite frankly, they're not even shy about it in Minnesota. Ilhan Omar the other day said, we need to abolish capitalism.
As long as our economy and political systems prioritize profit, we will perpetuate this inequality.
So we can have equal poverty for everybody.
She doesn't say she wants equal poverty. She thinks her ideas will lift everybody up.
Show us, Ilhan, where's it worked? And everything they're proposing hasn't worked, which is why we're talking about Minneapolis.
We raise our fists for the innocent black lives subject to racial discrimination.
I think those disparities were caused by a long trail of historic racism.
Cam Gordon is a Minneapolis councilman. He wins elections here because he's in sync with local voters.
So you do have allies inside of government.
Gordon tweets things like,
"Time to end capitalism as we know it."
That would be good.
How would it be good?
We could have more democratic control of our resources.
Every alternative to capitalism brings stagnation and poverty.
And I think that we can take care of each other better so that we're actually looking out for the vulnerable and the needy, and also making sure that we have an opportunity to right the wrongs of the past.
We are demanding justice, not just for Floyd, but for a corrupt system.
Because racism has never been over.
Who didn't want justice for Mr. Floyd? There was unanimity from everybody. The Democrat county attorney got the policeman charged in 4 days, the fastest ever. What does that have to do with abolishing our economic system?
They would say economic freedom just means white people, insiders, get rich.
But when we had this economic engine going before the lockdown, the people gaining the most were at the bottom end of the wage scale. A rising tide truly lifts all boats.
he's right. In the past 50 years, while progressives attack profits,
feed the rich and feed the poor.
That pursuit of profit, capitalism, lifted more than 1 billion people around the world out of the misery of extreme poverty.
The problem with capitalism as we know it is there seems to be this idea that we have to have constant growth.
Growth works. Growth lifts many of the poor.
But it lifts the rich much faster.
So what if the rich get filthy rich? If the poor do better too?
Capitalism, as we know, it's got us the housing crisis right now, and it's got us climate change that's actually going to destroy the planet.
But your ideas are going to bring poverty and tyranny. They have again and again. Every time it's been tried. The idea.
What idea? Community-based economics?
These are families that are 42% black.
By community-based, he means the community will decide what everyone must be paid, what landlords may charge, even what grocery stores stock. Sure sounds like socialism to me.
When socialism fails, the apologists always say, we just didn't do it enough. We just didn't do it the right way. That's always been the case, and it's always failed.
Hope you like these videos. We count on you to keep them going. If you'd like to help us make more, please press that button.